Hey everyone, so Lady Sapphire here. Today we're going to get into something a little bit heavier. I have a legit reason to really want to make this video, and down below you'll see a link to another video by a man I truly respect, Mr. Atheist, who is calling to arms an action plan to deal with what I'm going to get into at the end of this video. So basically today I'm going to be talking about transgender and what it actually means to be transgendered, what we need to know about transgender, and let's just get into this. Alright, so we're going to start with, some people call it transgender, some people say transgenderism, some people say being transgender. I don't really see a problem with either situation, honestly. I don't see the ism as like a disease, though that is a connotation that some people take from it, so be careful when using the term transgenderism, because some people might take it as an insult, and if I say it that way, I don't mean it that way. I look at it as like a theological or philosophical term, not a disease, but that's just the joy of the human language. There's all sorts of ways to verify different things. So, without more ado, I guess. So, what being transgender actually means. When we talk about being transgender, we're talking about somebody who was born one way, but presents themselves a different way. Now, we can look at that from the outside and see it as, oh, well, they're just not happy with who they are, or they just don't like being who they are. But that is not the case at all. Actually, to be quite honest, it all happens in the brain, and it all happens in the utero state, not any time beforehand or after. It all happens when the baby is developing within the womb. What happens is our nervous systems develop with our bodies. And sometimes when the body is transitioning, because I don't know if you all know this, but when we're developing in embryo state, we all start off as a female. Everyone was once female. Hate to break it to you. That's why men have nipples. But we all start off as female, and then in utero, we become either male or we stay female. The brain, however, doesn't always keep up, or it gets ahead of itself. So what'll happen is the body will become male while the brain's nervous system remains female, or vice versa, where the body or the brain becomes male, but the body hasn't transitioned. So when we're talking about a transgender person, it's actually something that starts before they're even born, which is why I think the whole gender specifics based on genitals is rather silly. Our brains make up what we are, not our bodies. And on that note, I do know some of my videos come off as non-inclusive, but that's not the way I mean to come off as all. I've actually dated a transgendered person in my past, and I go by either you're he or you're a she, or you're going to tell me if you're otherwise. And I will agree to respect whatever you tell me you are. But I do say he and she most of the time. I do talk about things, like in my orgasm video I mentioned that this is more for women, and that also includes transitioning women, or transgender women, because your brains are wired like a woman. So if you think like a woman, or you are a woman, then you are a woman. I don't care what's between your legs. I don't care what junk you got in you. It doesn't matter to me. You are who you are, and I usually do stick to he and she terms, not to be uninclusive or to be rude to anybody. It's just for simplicity's sake, because of what I'm talking about. And usually when I'm talking about sexuality, there's different sides of it, whether you're taking it from a male perspective or a female perspective. And that's all there is to it. I don't care what you were assigned at birth. I care about what your brain is wired to and who you are as a person. And that's what I'm talking to. And that's who I'm talking to, not your gender as a genitals assignment. But enough about that. So now that we understand it has nothing to do with, oh, they just don't like themselves, or they're just depressed. Granted, there can be cases where they're not actually transgender and they're going through issues, but when we're talking about a legitimate transgendered person, we are talking about someone whose nervous system is literally wired to that gender that they are portraying, or they are showing outside. I don't want to use the word portraying like it's I don't know. I don't really know how to word that carefully because I'm cis. I'm just a regular woman, so I don't want to offend. I really don't. I am inclusive to all. I appreciate and respect all, and I love all. So I don't care what you got in your trunks as long as you're a decent human being. We're cool, and I hope you're cool with me. But just throwing that out there. But anyway, so the real reason, and I'm sorry I keep looking at my notes here, the real reason I really wanted to make this video is because of transgender rights and how there are so many countries, and I thank God every day, or whatever God you want to thank. I believe in Gaia more than anything, but we don't need to get into all that. But I thank whatever higher power you want to believe in that I live in Canada where this is all kind of irrelevant. It is open, but there are issues in other countries where it's not so open, like even our the US, and even in Europe and other more sexually open places where they still don't quite understand the dangers they're putting people in by not respecting transgender rights. So, in that note, there is a wonderful woman. I'm going to grab my page so I say it right and I'm not disrespectful to her. Malak al-Kashef. Kashef. Sorry. Malak al-Kashef. There we go. She is 19, and she is actually a trans woman who is fully transitioned, who is now stuck in an all-men's prison. Now, I hope my angry eyes kind of give away how frustrating that is for me to hear, because that's just ridiculous in my opinion. She is a woman. She's fully transitioned. Even her junk is a woman's. So why is she stuck in a men's prison, you might ask? Oh, well, we'll start with how she got arrested doing a nonviolent protest and was just being targeted because she was transgendered. And secondly, because they are still making it ridiculously hard for anybody to go through transitions on paper. So you can get your body physically changed, but to get things like your license changed, your birth certificates and things changed takes forever. Takes forever. You can wait up to 12 years just for your paperwork to come through. So this poor woman who has been transitioned for a few years now and has been trying to get her paperwork on the move, and as I said, it can take over a decade to get this done. On paper, she is still registered as a man. Now, she looks like a woman. She is a woman. In all aspects and respects, she is a woman. But her paperwork still claims she's a man. So now she's being held in a men's prison. I understand on paper that might make sense, but as soon as a judge looks at this woman, standing in front of him, going, okay, well, your name is this, but you're clearly not a man, shouldn't that change perspective of how the case should go to which prison she should be sent to for her non-violent protest? And she's been stuck in there for over a year now. This is new to me. I would have been raging about this a long time before now if I had known about it. But there is a link in the description below to Mr. Atheist, or Jimmy Snow, however you know him, who has a call to action video down below. Click it as soon as this is done. I don't even care. Click it now if you want. I don't care. But please go to this video. He speaks about how we can help this poor woman. There is somewhere you can set a fax to. I don't have all the details. I'm sorry. Should have done my research. But down below to the video, he has all the information, including a letter that you can re-email if you don't want to fax, including where you can send your outrage to. So, please, if you want to help this poor woman who is trapped in an all-men's prison going through, I don't want to think of what abuse is. Thank God she's been kept aside. For now, she is kept in confinement, but that has other risks of she's just going to lose her mind while she's there because she can't do anything. She can't go anywhere. She can't move from her cell because she's in danger there. And even the guards are aware she's in danger there, but they can't do anything about it. Or so they say. But Egypt may crumble once people actually start making a fuss about it. So let's make a fuss. And go check out that video. He will lead you into all the directions that you need to go. And I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope I educated you a little bit on how to not shame others for having a differently wired brain than you. As long as everything's in that consent box that I speak of so often, what does it matter? Respect them, respect each other, let's just love each other. Send love to all. I send my love to all of you today. I send my love to Malek, who is in Egypt and is still stuck in that prison. So I send my love to her. I send my love to all people who have been struggling with this issue. And if you have any responses, any comments, please leave them below. And let's get this conversation going in a real way that can help socially change the world to the positive. Let's make this world a better place for all. Excuse me, not just us. All right, guys, have a great night.